Okay. I'm waiting. Okay. Oh, look at that Ratna. Or is it Rafi? Sorry, I don't know which name to choose. They say number 3 is radio. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, exactly. Okay, we have one more. Come on, this is easy. The last one is, the last one is, anybody? OVE. All right. Whoever gets this one is the winner. Who can guess? Number 7. You will be the winner. Okay. Anybody? Ding, ding, it's happy. Yeah, that's right. It is. Movie. Yeah. Okay, so Tommy is the winner. Good job. Okay, so we have 7 kinds of media. Number 1, newspaper. Number 2, magazine. Number 3, radio. Number 4, television. Number 5, internet. Number 6, podcast. And number 7, movie. Okay. Now our topic for today is breaking news. Talking about the news. Okay. So everybody has to follow the news somehow, right? Maybe you don't read the newspaper, but you know what is happening in the world, right? Where do you get your news, everybody? Can you tell me? From these media, where do you get your news? For example, I like to get my news from podcasts. Yeah, I listen to news podcasts every morning while I make my breakfast, so I know what is happening in the world. Okay, where do you get your news? Can you tell me in the chat? Where do you find out what is going on in the world? Maybe it's internet, maybe it's the radio. Okay, so Conrad says usually I find the news from the internet. Okay, excellent. From the internet. Anybody else? Where do you find your news? Anybody else? Okay, so there's many ways to get the news. Maybe your parents like to read the newspaper. Yeah, the Jakarta Post or the New York Times. Okay. Anybody else want to answer? Where do you get your news? Because today we talk about breaking news. Okay, Catalina also says internet. Yeah, you guys are probably anak millennial, right? Or Generation Z. Okay, so probably you get your news from the internet. Medsos. Okay, I should put it here, yeah? Medsos. Medsos in English, of course, we say social media. Social media. And really, that's part of the internet. Okay, Abu says apps. Interesting. I didn't think of that one. But I have one more media here. Abu, what app do you get your news from? I didn't know about news apps. I should try it. News application. Great. Okay. Now, let's move to our material for today. Okay. Where is it? Here we go. We're talking about the news. Now, of course, in 2020, 2021, what was in the news? You can see the picture. Yeah. It's all about coronavirus. All right, so that's why we have the picture here. So here's what we're talking about today. Talking about news and media, okay? And we're gonna practice present continuous. Okay, let's move to the next page. Here we go. The question is, where do you get your news from? Now, I already asked you. Let's give it the ranking, okay, guys? So the ranking for newspapers, television, internet, radio. Where do you get your news? So the number one, your main source for news, we'll say one. Okay, for me, internet. For me, two is newspapers. Now, newspaper website, I will say that's newspaper, okay? And then, let's see, television for me is probably number three. And then radio for me is probably number four, okay? How about you guys? What is your ranking? Where do you get your news from? Okay, we're ranking from the most often to the least often. Can you tell me in the chat, what is your ranking? So for example, number one, internet. Number two, radio. Number three, television. Number four, newspaper. What is your answer? I'd like to know about your news pets, everybody. Any? Okay, so Katarina said, number one, absolutely internet. And then she said two, television, and three, radio. Great. Okay, so Ratna said internet, television, newspaper, radio. Okay, so radio is last for you guys. And then Anda said internet, television, radio, newspaper. Okay, is it Adrian Novaldi says internet, internet, internet. And yeah, I think that's true for most of us, you guys. Internet, 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 and then television. Yeah, this is 21st century. Why are we talking about newspapers? Everything is on the internet. My question for you now, where on the internet do you get your news? Do you get it from the news website? From Instagram? From TikTok? From Facebook? Where do you find the news on the internet? Maybe your family is sharing in the WhatsApp group all of those hoaxes. Yeah? Where do you find your news on the internet? For me, I love reading the news. I go to the news website. I go to NewYorkTimes.com for my American news. I go to the Jakarta Post for my Indonesian news in English. Okay, so Kanza says usually from Instagram or Twitter. Yeah, Twitter is a great source of news. And the breaking news is the newest news. Yeah, the most recent news. Twitter is perfect for breaking news. Okay, Rafi said Instagram. Good. Anybody else? Where on the internet do you find your news? Okay, I'm going to wait for your answers. Now, reading the news is really important, of course, because we must know what is happening in the world. Okay? Now, I want you to prove to me that you follow the news. What was the last thing that you read in the news? What is happening in the world right now? What is happening? Who can tell me? All right, I want to wait for your answers. Okay. Kanza says Clubhouse. Okay, that's a one-word answer. Kanza, what is happening with Clubhouse? I don't know anything about it. What is happening? What's the story? What is happening in the world, you guys? Or what already happened recently? Okay? We're going to talk a little bit about grammar and then go back to talking about the news. Can you tell me in the chat What was the last news you read about? So Kanza told me Clubhouse. I don't know the Clubhouse story. What is happening with Clubhouse, you guys? I will tell you about some news that I recently read. Okay. Have you guys heard about Sia's new movie, the singer Sia? So Sia's new movie is getting terrible reviews. I was just reading about this news here, you guys. Sia's new movie is getting terrible reviews. Let me see. I can't tell if you can see that or not. Let me open this again. Okay, there you go. Oh, wow. Okay, so I asked you, what news did you read about? Okay, Katarina Vita said about a murder case from Jombang. Okay, Katarina, can you tell us what happened? If it's finished, the story is finished, or what is happening? Okay, Kanza says Clubhouse is the new app for discuss any topics to everyone, and it's so fun. Okay, and this app is just for iPhone users. Oh, it's exclusive, only for iPhone users. That's why the name is Clubhouse, yeah? Only for your exclusive iPhone users. Okay, interesting. So that's in the news, Clubhouse. Katarina told us about the murder case. Today, I was reading about Sia's new movie, okay? Now, what's the story? Her new movie is getting terrible reviews. Do you guys know Sia? She's the singer. She has so many famous and popular songs. So she's a singer, but she has a new movie. She is the director and the writer and the producer. And she made a movie about the autistic girl, and it's getting terrible reviews. Yeah, her movie is making a lot of controversy. Her movie is making a lot of controversy. Do you guys know about this? Tell me in the chat. I want to know if you follow this too. It's really interesting. Okay, Katarina's news is a little darker. Okay. Katarina says a rape victim who defends himself or herself against the perpetrator, but kill the perpetrator instead. Okay, that's really dark. I think we should talk about that today, but that's a really dark, interesting story. Okay. Now, Ravi is saying she's just read about Rachel Fenya. I don't know about that story. Can you tell me what happened? Okay, so let's talk about grammar in the news. Okay, grammar in the news. So here we have one example. Okay, Sia's new movie is getting terrible reviews. Okay. Here's another example. People are freezing in a big snowstorm. You guys know about this? People are freezing in a big snowstorm. Do you know where this is happening? It's in my country. Do you guys know this breaking news story? People are freezing in a big snowstorm. Do you know where it is? Yeah, that's a big part of America. Good guess. Rita is actually in Texas. Yeah, and it's really big news. Now, I'll give you one more example of news. Let's see. Maybe Rafi, can you tell me what happened with Rachel Fenya? I don't know what the story is. Or does anybody else have some news? Okay. We can say, taking Katarina's example, a victim killed her attacker. It's a really interesting story. A victim killed her attacker. Now, there's two kinds of news. Okay? News that already happened. Maybe it was yesterday, maybe last week, maybe 2 hours ago. News that already happened. And breaking news. Breaking news is news that is happening now. Is happening now. Okay. So this one, a victim killed her attacker. Do you think this is news that already happened or breaking news? What do you guys think of the victim who killed her attacker? Okay, now I'm getting the news about this Rachel person. She's a celebgram. Okay, she has just divorced. She's so popular with her romantic love. She likes to share sweet moments. Oh my God, that is dramatic. Okay, did that already happen or is it still happening? Is it breaking news? We talk about two kinds of news. News that already happened and breaking news. News that happens now. So this one, is it breaking news or news that already happened? Who can tell me in the chat? Breaking news or news that already happened? Who can tell me about the Jombang story? So this one, right? It already happened. Okay. How about this one? I'll move to the other one. Okay. People are freezing in a big snowstorm in Texas. What do you think? News that already happened or the breaking news? News that is happening now. Good. Okay. So Rana said breaking news. Breaking news. Yeah. So this is breaking news. It's still happening now. Yeah, right now, people are freezing in my country because of the cold weather. There is the power outage. You guys say mati lampu? Yeah, we have the power outage all across Texas. People don't have the heater, they don't have fire. This is breaking news. Now, let's look at this. Let's look at the grammar, okay? What tense is this, everybody? Who can tell me? What tense is this? People are freezing. People are freezing. Who knows about it? What tense is this, you guys? We have to talk about grammar. Thank you, Kanza. People are freezing. That is present continuous. Okay. Present continuous we use to talk about the present. Talk about now. What is happening now? I am speaking, you are listening, we are studying, but that's not news. For breaking news, we use present continuous. So let's remember the structure for present continuous. Of course, we always need this people. It's the subject. Okay, where's the S here? Subject. What's after the subject in present continuous? People are freezing. Help me out, grammar people. People are freezing. How do we use present continuous? We have the subject, people. Okay, what's next? Yeah, thank you. It is are. You call this to be. To be. Okay, so to be It can be is, are, am. I am talking. You are listening. People are freezing. Good. We have to be and then ing. That's right. We call it verb ing. Okay. So Ravi right now, she told us about the breaking news about this celebgram, okay, Rachel. Can you guys use present continuous? What is happening? What is happening in the Rachel celebgram divorce story? What is happening? Can you use present continuous? So, my example, people are freezing in a big snowstorm. Here's another example. Here's a movie is getting terrible reviews. Okay, I want to hear your answer. Tell me, what is happening in this Rachel divorce celebgram story using present continuous, guys? Who can tell me? Write it down here for you. All right, I'm gonna wait for you to type it out. Abu's raising your hand. Can you just type it in the chat? Okay. So what is happening? Oh, you didn't know the basics. Okay, but can you make, Katarina, can you make a simple sentence? Okay, so we have the subject, the to be, and the verb be. Okay, oh, okay, great. So, as I said, Rachel. Now be careful. Okay, this is a good lesson. Okay. Can I use conscious example here? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna type it, you guys, so it's more clear. Now, Anja said Rachel are divorcing by her husband. Okay, good, thank you. Anja, you fixed it. So, be careful with the to be, right? Subject, Rachel. Rachel, she. So she are or she is. Okay. So we say Rachel is. Good. All right. Now we can say divorcing, right? Verb. The verb is divorce. So divorce, verbing, divorcing. Okay. Now, if we say divorcing, we don't need the by. Yeah. We just need like this. Okay. Or you could switch it around. Rachel's husband is divorcing her. Okay. Oops, typo here. Rachel. Okay. We can also use the verb get with divorce. Who can help me with this? Rachel is divorced. Okay, now this is breaking news. Who can help me finish this one? Okay, so we have many ways to talk about breaking news. We can say Rachel is divorcing her husband. We can say Rachel's husband is divorcing her. And we can say Rachel is divorced. Okay, now don't forget. Subject, to be, verb ing. Subject, to be, verb ing. Okay, so help me finish the sentence. Subject, to be. Yes, thank you. Rachel is getting divorced. Okay. Can you guys tell me, do you have any other breaking news that's happening now? Can you say in the chat? So we have three examples now, okay? We have one from Rafi Ratna. Okay, Rachel's divorcing her husband, or Rachel is getting divorced. Celeb Graham gossip. Okay, my breaking news from America: people are freezing in a big snowstorm. Okay. The first one I said about Sia's new movie, it's getting terrible reviews. Okay, it's called Music. Music is making a big controversy. All right. Who can tell me some more breaking news? Remember, breaking news using this structure. Okay. I want to hear one more, and then I'll give you a little secret about reading news in English. Okay. Okay. So we have the news about the victim, but that one wasn't breaking news. It already happened. Okay. I wanted to hear from you guys in the chat. Can you tell me in the chat? Everybody. Okay. Rafi, Kanza, Katarina, Vita, Abu. What is happening in the world? Okay. So Rafi said President Totoli asked his ministry to make a revision. Good. Is it breaking news? Maybe, okay? But probably it already happened, right? Or can you say, Jacoby is asking his ministry to make a revision. Is it already finished, or is it breaking news, still happening? Okay, but thank you for the answer, Rafi. Okay, who else can tell me some breaking news happening now? Still happening. Okay. So, Rafi, can you change it to present continuous like this? So, subject is Jokowi. Verb is an asked. Okay. And then I want to hear from everybody else. You can use the internet right now. Check on the internet. What is happening in the world? Okay. I'm going to wait for your answers. While I'm waiting for your answers, I'm going to show you. Oh, nice. Okay. So I've got some answers already. Okay. So Katarina Vita said, people are becoming milliardaire. Is that English? Okay. I think milliard, we should say billionaire, right? Billionaires. I think millionaire, if we talk about rupiah, 1 juta rupiah kan? So we are all rupiah millionaires, okay? But in English, we can say millionaire or billionaire, okay? So people are becoming millionaire or billionaires because they had just earned the money from the land purchase by PT Pertamina. Oh, I didn't hear about that, okay? Rafi said, President Jokowi is going to make. Interesting. So she's saying going to, using the future tense. Okay, using going to. I like that. Okay. Any other examples, you guys? I'm going to show you some secrets. Okay, where you can get your news in English. All right, I'm opening that up for you now. While I'm opening that up, I'd like you to share in the chat. What is some breaking news you read about? Abu, I want to hear from you. Okay, and who else? Kanza, I want to hear from you too. Evita or Anissa, I want to hear from you too. Okay. And then I'm going to share with you where can you find some news in English. All right. Still waiting for your answers. Still waiting. All right. What is happening in the world? I like Katarina's answer. That is perfect. Okay. Rafi Ratna already answered. Who else? Neti, are you there? Abu, Adham, Adrian? What is happening? What is the breaking news in the world? Okay. Now I want to share with you where to find news in English on the internet. Okay. Now, reading the news is the perfect way to practice our English. Okay. So probably you read your news in Bahasa Indonesia. That's okay. So do I sometimes. Okay. But there are many resources that we can use to get the news and practice English at the same time. Okay. Now, the classic one for Indonesian news is the Jakarta Post. Okay. It's Indonesian news, but it's in English. This is what I like to read. Okay. So the problem is the language, the skill level. Okay. Jakarta Post, it can be very difficult to understand. All right. Because the language can be very high level. I'm still waiting for some answers, by the way, in the chat. Okay. Can you give me some breaking news? So I have some alternatives for you. Here's a really good one. Okay. Oh, so Abita says the pandemic has pushed 2.76 millionaire Indonesians into millionaire or million? Million. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, Jakarta Post is hard, yeah, guys. So I want to show you some alternative. Check this out. This is called News in Levels. Newsinlevels.com. Okay, you can find it later. News in Levels. You can see this is world news for students of English like you. Okay, so this is regular news. Okay, it's news, but the stories are simple, simple English. Okay, and you can choose what level of English you want. Okay, so you are beginner English. You can choose level 1. All right, so here, for example, here's the level 1, okay? Really simple English, okay? Let's look at this one. Okay. So for example, this one, so simple. Lake Dotron is in North Macedonia and Greece. It is the 3rd largest lake in Macedonia. It has an area of la la la. It is 10 meters deep. It's pretty simple, right? Farmers use the water for their fields and animals. Okay, now news in levels, we can choose. Okay, maybe it's too simple for you. You can go to the level 2. Here, let me give you the example. I like this one. This is the example, the story about the dog. Okay. Now, level 1, beginner English. Really simple. This happens in Peru. This happens in Peru. A dog gets into canal. It cannot get out. It is in danger. Very easy to read, right? Okay, maybe too easy. We move to level 2. In Peru, a dog found itself in a canal. You can see it's a higher level of English. So this is a good resource for you. Finally, level 3 is the advanced level story. Okay, same story, harder English. Okay, a dog is in the canal. La la la. Okay, I block. Thank you. All right, I want to show you some other websites now. Okay, other than the news and levels. Here's one, BBC. Do you guys know BBC? So BBC is the UK national media for news. So search on Google, BBC, Learning English News. And you can see they have video news stories, they have audio news, and it's easy English for you guys, okay? Simple English. All right, so that's one example for you. You can see here we have the story about the Queen. Okay, and then we got one more for you. This one is called The Times in Plain English. You can search The Times in PlainEnglish.com. Okay, now this is like a newspaper, but all of the stories are plain English. Plain English is simple English. Okay? So all of these stories are real stories about right now from the news, but the English is easier for you guys. Okay? So this is my advice for you. If you want to read the news and practice your English at the same time, we have a lot of choices, okay? Now, if you are an expert, great. Read the Jakarta Post. I like reading the Jakarta Post, okay? But if it's too hard for you, we have those other options, okay? So this one was really good, The Times in Plain English. You might be able to find some on social media too, okay? On Instagram or Twitter, I'm not sure, okay? So this one is good, The Times in Plain English. The other one was newsinlevels.com. And this one is the BBC Learning English. So it's great. You can read the news and practice your English at the same time. And you can learn about things that you won't hear in the Indonesian news. Yeah, Indonesian news is all gossip, right? In these other sites, you can have a much more interesting story, okay? Now, remember what we learned today? We talked about breaking news. Who can tell me in the chat, what is breaking news? Who can tell me, what is breaking news? I'm going to wait for your answer. While I'm waiting, I'll give you another example.